May end up having. What's up, folks? It's Friday, it's noon, and it's time for Food Chart Fridays live. And we've got some interns in house. This is Brittany, boom, rocking the new Blaze Fitness shirt. And this is Blaine in the background. His name is close to mine, so we know he's the man. They are grinding away, learning the art of food charts, taking their time to figure out what works and what doesn't based on our experience. And that's what we do every Friday here on Food Chart Fridays Live. We try to give you evidence-based research on what I've done with clients for the past close to 20 years now. It's 15 plus years. That's crazy. And what I have seen throughout my entire life as growing up like a child of fitness, right? With that being said, I'm not a nutritionist. If you have some specific guidelines that you need to stick to based on medical conditions, you need to stick with what your doctor tells you. Otherwise, we try to look at what works by showing you facts and information from clients on the ground. This week, we're going to be looking at lots of new clients. I've got freaking food charts out the wazoo. As you can see, we've got grades on some of these. We've also got some of our older but goodies that we've been working on the past few weeks that have turned in their charts. And we're going to follow up to what we did last week with looking at top 5 mistakes. And this week we're going to look at 5 easy ways you can ensure good execution for your diet as you go. I want to do this one more time because I like it. It's like we're in the workshop. We got them grinding. Yes, that's right. Working on it. Basically, we've been sitting here looking at foods, looking at the patterns that I see across the board with people talking about what we'll generally see in regards to all this. We had a group of 44 kids start up at High Point University this week for a boot camp class, and I could have kept the write-up that I do every year. 9 years in a row I've been there now. And the write-ups from the first week would always be the same. There are these standardized mistakes that most people make. We talked about a lot of them last week. So what I want to do is start off with clientele, give some examples of what we're seeing on the streets. And then from there, we're going to go over our top 5 ways to help you execute your diet very easily. So we're going to start off here with someone from boot camp. This is somebody who got an A-. First name Hannah, last initial C. She got an A-. I wanted to point this out because she did a really good job on her food chart because she's been in camp before, so she knew the rules. But here's the truth. She was in camp before, and then she left and gained a bunch of weight. She did not execute the plan. And now she's back in, and of course, first week she's crushing it because she knows what to do. She lost 2.4 pounds this week from the start of camp. She's doing a great job because she started to do the 1, 2, 3 again, right? But with that being said, my concern with this, is are you going to continue this lifestyle going forward? That's what we're trying to teach. This is not about a diet. This is about learning how to treat yourself well. So I love this A. I don't have to freaking highlight and make a bunch of marks all over this sheet. What I'm concerned about is this something that you're going to be able to maintain as your lifestyle. Let's figure out what went wrong last time. You probably just started to not be accountable. And maybe you're the type of person that needs to write these things down going forward until you get to that ideal body fat percentage and then check in every once in a while. Here is another sheet that we're going to look at. This sheet is another one from boot camp. This would be Jenny with the last initial K. And you can see this bad boy, not only is her penmanship lit up with different colors, but she's got a lot of little blue lines on this sheet. And what I'm seeing here, what I'm highlighting for her is carbs, right? If we need to lose weight, we tell folks you want to do 1 carbohydrate choice a day and then 3 healthy fat choices a day. Because you can't just drastically reduce the calories in your diet. And healthy fats help build our cell walls. They help with recovery. But carbs, that primary energy system, we back off on those a little bit so we can start burning more of the stored fat that we have. But this girl was doing a really good job through the beginning of the day, and then she started eating Kashi cereal because it says protein on the box, and it's crunchy, right? But it's also carby as hell. And she's doing potatoes, she's doing Halo Top ice cream, she's doing beans, and she's doing rice. So realistically, this day she had 3 carbs. This day she had 4 carbs. She had oatmeal, pasta, Kashi, and rice. We've got to back down on that calorie consumption to get to where we need to be. We don't count calories. What we try to do is be responsible for our portion sizes. Our carbohydrate portion size is going to be what fits in the palm of your hand, right? And our healthy fat portion size is what about the size of your thumb? That'd be for girls and 2 thumbs for guys. So that's 10 almonds for a girl, that's about 20 almonds for a guy. But those, if we did look at the calorie side of the equation, those ratios would begin to even out a little bit. But how those foods process also has a little bit to do with it as well. What we focus on first is telling the truth, looking at the evidence, starting to follow some directions. And then, just like we saw with this chart first, the scale will move. And a quick piece of that is the scale is not always linear. It doesn't always go down. Sometimes it'll sit still, but your body fat loss will go down in a linear way. So here, you're in a freaking boot camp. Eat less carbs. Let's go. You know the rules. We say 1 carb a day if you're trying to lose, 2 carbs a day if you're trying to maintain, 3 if you want to gain. And none of y'all on the game train, so get it straight. All right, this is one more person. I just wanted to look at this chart because she got an A. And this was, the only thing she got highlighted here was green veggies. Now, I offer my food chart out to anybody that wants to see exactly what I eat. If you're on the streets, you guys can go. Thank you very much for your help. I appreciate you. But with that being said, we're going to let them out of the war room right now. With that being said, she needs to include some fibrous green vegetables at breakfast. Okay? That's the only thing that's really missing right here. We've got we've got protein, we've got fruits and vegetables, but we're missing some green vegetables right there. Because you start your day with those fibrous vegetables, it's hard to break down. It'll help get you there a little sooner rather than later. All right, I got one more specific chart I'm going to look at. And then I'm just going to address several of the things that I see regularly when I do big groups and we start right off. I'm going to address several of those issues as a group, and then we're going to talk about your 5 quick tips for execution. All right, we're looking at Dave L. again. This is the guy, and here's the version of my chart. If you want to screenshot that, get that up in your face. That's how I roll. I tell the truth, too. I got my chocolate cake on there. I just make sure to do 2 misses a week or less. For this guy, we talked about him last week, cancer survivor. He has complained about not being able to taste foods, but consistently choosing things like French fries, McDonald's parfait, Frosties, slice of pie, ice cream bowl, cheesecake. This dude for late night snack ate cheesecake with Chex Mix. I'm like, did you pour the Chex Mix on top of your cheesecake, or was this a separate thing? So all jokes aside, eating like this is the type of stuff that causes health problems in the first place. So we had a tough conversation again this week. And I want to point out this food chart is better than it was last week. He has included some consistency with a few of his snack options here in the afternoon. He's adding in some muscle milk. He works at a courthouse as something he can get in. He's also trying to make a few better choices here and there with some green vegetables in his lunches and dinners, but overall he's still choosing a lot of crap. There's a lot of blue lines on this sheet. And so what I mentioned to you guys 2 weeks ago was awareness, surrender, and growth. When you write down the truth, when you're willing to tell the truth, eventually you will get so miserable that you'll start doing something different, which we're starting to see him go over the top of that hill right now by changing a little bit, or you'll quit. You'll get really miserable and then come back when you're ready to make a real change. Remember, what we put into our body is loving ourselves. There's no way you can wake up with a mouthful of strawberries and not feel better or good about that decision. These types of shitty decisions compound and make you feel unwell. When you choose healthy foods, it compounds too. It accumulates in your system, and boom, you get healthier. Remember, while we do this broadcast, I invite you to ask questions anytime. Ask was a good word. Ask questions anytime you want. I'll be happy to give you feedback. So quickly, I just wanted to go over the things that I saw on a lot of these charts today. We had some people who are regulars here at the gym do a wonderful job. We've got a lot of these boot campers, though, that it's their first time, that are making C's and D's. I mean, you can see D's, B+. Oh, we got lucky, okay? But D's, lots of bad grades on these things, okay? So I want to look at some of those quick ones. I had one girl that wrote down a bunch of vegan choices. She claims she's a vegan and then eats Senna sticks as her late night snack. I'm like, how is that going for you? You're eating a bunch of green vegetables and you're going to bust some Senna sticks out in the middle of the night? Like, let's create some consistency. Let's find some proteins that we can eat. And if we're really going to be dedicated to doing something healthy, let's not bust out Senna sticks before we go to bed. All right, next, beans. Beans are kind of a 2-for-1. They are calorically dense. All foods have carbs. All these vegetables and fruits have carbs in them, but it's generally in small portions. It's calorie-dense carbohydrates that I'm concerned with. I put bananas, grapes, kiwi in that column because they have 90 calories or more per serving. I put, obviously, rices, grains, starches in that category of carb. I've just labeled it carbs because it's easier, because it's what most people think about. And I don't include things like Cinna Sticks in that category, or Little Debbie's. We know processed sugary foods automatically would be high calorie bad choices. So that's what I'm pointing to there. Beans are 2 for 1. They have protein, but they also have a high amount of carbohydrate. So I like them as a protein choice occasionally because they're fibrous. They do great things for a body. You know, beans, good for your heart. The more you eat them, the more you... So they're great for that, but at the same time, they have a lot of calories. So if you've already done a carb a day or a couple of carbs in the day, you need to angle that. And remember, we're not drastically crushing our diet with no calories. We're making sure to put in some healthy fats to stem that tide. So another thing that I see is peanut butter and almonds at snack time, because that's the protein choice, and that's not true. There are 7 grams of protein in a serving of peanut butter. There's 160 calories. There are 4 calories per gram. So you got 7 grams, that's 28 calories. We've talked about this before. Peanut butter is a great healthy fat choice, a spoonful, but it is not a protein choice because it's way too many calories. It's going to lead to weight gain. Man, and I was in high school, we'd see this dude in the weight room, and he would say, "You want to gain weight? Eat peanut butter sandwiches." So now I memorize that. I remember that anytime somebody does peanut butter, because great healthy fat choice, not a protein choice. Same thing with almonds. Serving size of almond for girls, 10 almonds, because they carry lots of calories, but we need healthy fats to get them in our diet. So get the appropriate amount. Two thumbs up for men, but do a protein on the side. Do a 2-ounce piece of chicken if you're a girl, 4-ounce piece of chicken if you're a guy. All right, another one. I had green smoothie written down on a chart. What's in the smoothie? I need to know. Does it have protein in it? Because that's the number 1 nutrient. And that's something else I'm seeing on these charts. The first thing I tell everybody is protein is the building block of your diet. I've been saying it for weeks because I'm always going to say the same thing, because consistency is what's most important. Did you make protein the first choice? I saw lots of snacks that was just apple, orange. How many grams of protein in an apple or an orange? Exactly. Choose protein first. You've got to choose protein and then pair it with an apple and orange. It's not that an apple and an orange are a bad choice. Fantastic choice. Lots of vitamins and minerals in apples and oranges. But we choose the protein to stabilize blood sugar and to hold on to our muscle to build our metabolism. I saw milk as a choice. And there's been some research to come out and say that milk is great post-workout. Hence, post-workout. Because after you strength train, your body needs protein to repair. And there's about 8 grams of protein in a serving of milk. But there's also a lot of sugar and carbohydrate. Now, after a strength training session, the protein chains on to sugar and carbohydrate, and it rushes into your bloodstream, and it rushes to get stored in one of its primary storage places, your muscle bellies. And on the way, that sugar and carb are carrying the protein with it to help you recover. Pretty good choice for after a strength training session. Not a go-to move, though, for your protein in general, because it's too many carbs and not enough protein. Same thing as the peanut butter, right? Okay. Last thing is just bad choices as far as protein goes. Generally, you're going to be okay with the majority of things that you choose for protein. However, and it's more about how the protein's prepared. If I'm frying things, obviously, it's carrying more calories, and that's not good. But I saw on one chart in particular, bologna, my silly word for bologna, ham, and cheese. Cheese is about 60% of its calories from fat, right? That's even low-fat, low-calorie cheeses. They just play with the label a little bit, still got about 60% of its calories from fat. Ham is a fattier meat. Bologna is a fattier meat as well that has all kinds of stabilizers and shit in it. So I'd like to see you choose chicken. I'd like to see you choose turkey. I'd like to see you choose lean meat options, all right? Cool. Deep breath. Food charts are over. I'm super proud of everybody for writing down the truth. That's the real facts. I don't give a damn if you make a D on your chart. If you write down the truth, you're giving yourself a chance to get better. So now let's pick one thing this week that we can work on for next week. Do I need to include more green vegetables? Do I need to make my breakfast more consistent? Do I need to back off some of these carbohydrate choices? That's what we need to figure out. So we're going to talk about a follow-up to last week, and these are going to be our top 5 ways to execute an easy diet. So number 1, is going to be pick your top 3 choices per food group, right? I know for protein, my top 3 choices are going to be eggs, ground turkey, and a chicken breast. That's my top 3 always. And I usually choose a rotisserie chicken because it's already cooked and I can tear it apart. It's easy. Or I grill some chicken and I separate it right off the bat. But when it comes to vegetables, I do spinach, broccoli, or frozen green beans, flash frozen. It's easy for me to execute. When it comes to fruits, I like strawberries, little clementine oranges, or an apple. That's always my top 3. And really just berries, not just strawberries, berries period. I always buy lots of berries when I go. I try to have those consistent choices. My healthy fats, my top 3 are coconut oil, walnuts, really just as much, and almonds. And I don't do salted, I do the unsalted. So for each food group, I have my main 3. And of those 3, I really have my 1 that I do the most of the time. And then the other 2 are just my options. Okay? Secondly, have 1 meal a day that you really enjoy. I can eat green vegetables and protein with a healthy fat all day long. And I usually just hammer it and get it done because I'm a dinner man. Part of this is about figuring out who you are. I like to go home and eat dinner, and it's usually something I enjoy. That doesn't mean I have fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and green beans. It just means that my dinner, I make sure to put some love and some time into preparing something I like, a savory something, so I can sit down and eat it well. And give myself that nourishment and that moment to enjoy the food, right? So make at least 1 meal a day. Figure out if you're a lunch person, you like lunch a lot, then make your lunch a good meal that's not just something you do to check off the box. If you're a breakfast person, then make it, the hearty breakfast you enjoy and know that the rest of the day you're going to usually do your proteins, fruit, veggie, and healthy fats. So from there, number 3, be consistent. This is one my mama taught me a long time ago from a research study. People who are successful with their diet are very consistent. They generally choose the same thing. They know, just like I said with those limited choices, that every night they're going to have, if it's a salad, they'll have a chicken salad, right? Chicken over a green bed of lettuce. This night they may do the lemon pepper dressing. The next night they may do the vinaigrette dressing with a little bit of strawberries on the side. The next night they may do a green salad but with a little piece of salmon. But in general, it's very similar every single time. It's a green salad with that chicken and maybe a little mix up on the dressings and maybe a little mix up on the meat here and there, but it's generally the same thing every time. When you're consistent, it's easy to execute and have your go-to moves. And then save your fun time couple of misses a week for things you enjoy when you go out or that you know you love, that you want to do every once in a while. Number 4, this is an important one. It's part of our system, the 1-2-3 balance approach. We say pick 1 day a week to plan and execute. Pick 1 day to prepare your meals. You will have 1 day a week that you get everything ready. I know that Sundays I'm going to boil eggs, I'm going to prepare chicken, I'm going to have my Tupperwares out, and I'm going to get it all loaded for the week. I know that right now I'm making 8 eggs a week because I got a couple of days that I actually eat breakfast out in the mornings and I get an omelet when I go there, a veggie omelet. I know that I need to have lots of broccoli, lots of chicken, because I generally pack 2 to 3 meals per day based on when I'm going to be at work, when I'm not. And I manage all that out. I buy all the groceries that I need, and I nail it, get it all prepared. Shit used to take me forever when I first started to get it under my belt the first weekend. Then I got better at it. I can crack 8 to 18 eggs in about 5 minutes, right? Easy. I can pack up all of those containers very easily. Easy way to get your chicken when you plan ahead is go ahead and buy the 2-ounce individually quick frozen chicken tenders that are boneless and skinless and not breaded in the frozen food section. Thaw them. Cook all of them in the oven at the same time on 350 for 20 minutes. Rub some barbecue sauce on them, stick them in Tupperware, then you can pull them out as you go. But pick 1 day a week to know what you're going to consistently do and go ahead and prepare it to take it with you. That's a no-brainer. All right, last one. This is number 5. Stop making love to the food and move on. I post on my Instagram story a lot, me just with a handful of spinach and hammering it, because that's the way I roll. I do not make love to the food. Like I said, I have 1 meal a day I really enjoy, but for the rest of the day, I generally just get it done. It's not a big event. I know. I used to time it 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9. I generally have that clock in my head, and I've been doing that since I was freaking 16 years old. In the beginning, this journey was about getting big, right? I wanted to get big. And then it became about taking care of myself. I realized as I got older and I came through some struggles, I came through some recovery, that I realized for me that it is going to be about one moment at a time, doing the best I can to take care of myself from the inside out. That the consistency of the weights don't change. The consistency of me eating and choosing these things are in some ways a form of meditation, where I've started to compound that interest of I take care of myself because I love myself. And that doesn't mean that one time a day I don't make love to the food, right, with that one meal I like, but it does mean that I stop getting emotional about, I don't like this, I don't like that. I don't wake up thinking spinach is going to be awesome. I just crush it and move on. Another way to make that work for you is to drink a large glass of water right after your meal, because it'll make you feel full and you won't have the propensity to try to eat more and once again get caught in that satisfaction zone. So, there we go. Those are your quick 5 easy tips. Pick your top 3 choices per food group. Have them handy so you can prep them. Number 2, have one meal a day that you really enjoy. That's kind of your go-to meal that you know you're going to sit down and take the time with. Number 3, be consistent. Generally eat similar things. That's what successful people do. Number 4, pick one day to prepare your food per week. And number 5, stop making love to your food, right? Make sure that you get it done. And then enjoy some balance with that one meal of the day that we kind of have as the one you really enjoy. For me, that's dinner. Figure out who you are. So, Food Truck Fridays live every Friday at high noon. We want to teach you one rep, one meal, one moment at a time, how to be present, take care of yourself from the inside out. I want to say I'm extremely grateful for you guys out there that watch this. Hopefully you get something out of it. If you can just pick one thing that helps you, maybe it's one thing you want to do, or maybe it's one thing you'll never do. Either way, I hope you get some worth out of this. I'd love some questions. I'd love to look at your food charts. You can message me your email and I'll send you some food charts so you can get it done. It's Friday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Much love and be well.